Hello everyone who wants to put big holes in things and also set that hole on fire. I am BorderWise, and welcome back to From the Depths, and we're talking about pierce lasers, which are all the rage in From the Depths right now. And by all the rage, I mean I know of at least two things which use them. One is in my custom campaign, Plutono, and the other is shooting at this unfortunate marauder right now. It is the Super Radiance of Lightning Hood's fame. Now, pierce lasers. What makes them different from regular lasers? Well, the whole idea is it's one Q, and it's just one big, relatively slow laser beam, ray, shot, that goes straight through a thing, and especially useful for pierce lasers, it sets everything on fire on its way through. This is a very, very, very strong weapon type, and in fact, in the end game, so to speak, so when everything is full of very tough but also somewhat flammable heavy armor, pierce lasers are amazingly good. So, over here we have the Super Radiance. Do not be fooled by the fleet colors, I've cheated. Also, I recommend just kind of like reverse engineering what's on this thing, because they've managed to make a laser that's like disguised, well, as a railgun, so to speak. Somebody decided, you know what, railguns are not railgunny enough, so here we go. I believe there's a sound block somewhere, and it's all controlled via bread. It's all very, very cool. But what we're really interested in is the laser Tetris, because you don't need all the bells and whistles here. What you can do is something like this. So there's two things in here. One is lots of storage and destabilizers. I don't believe this thing uses an output regulator. Really should have checked that. It does. So that's the three essential ingredients of pierce lasers. Let's see. What are you set to do? You're set to do... Interesting. You're not set to do anything. Aha! Hold on. Let's spawn in... Let's spawn in another marauder, because that's funny. Let's see. Right, let's see here. Marauder, thank you. Let's see, anything changed there? Nope. Interesting, I'm not sure why this has, Interesting, I'm not sure why this has an output regulator. It doesn't seem to be using them at all. But anyway, so, lots of storage, lots of destabilizers, and then you have a laser that goes, well, bang. Not literally, but there you go. So let's see here, what's the maximum damage per shot? Ah! That actually does plenty of damage. So, you don't have to do Tetris like this, so long as your laser Tetris has a lot of storage and can dump all that storage at once on the target, you're doing fine. And so, there is a difference between a pierce laser and a burst laser. They tend to often overlap a lot, because a burst laser is just, it, you know, very quickly dumps all its stored energy on a target, and it in a burst, so to speak. But a pierce laser just pierces the target. That's the whole point. So you kind of really have a 0Q pierce laser, because like one little tick on a 0Q laser isn't going to go straight through stuff. Where did I put it? Alright, here we go. So here we go. We got just a burst. So what we have here is no destabilizers. But it does have an output regulator on it, and the settings are like this, so the minimum shot damage is 10,000. So, this does pretty good. It does okay, and we're gonna... This is, I don't know, not massive, but like, you know, this is a nasty laser. 10,000 laser damage can take out one heavy armor beam, especially because with this kind of thing, it'll poke a hole in it, and like then smoke will be triggered, which is yet another reason to use the ACB smoke trick. And if you don't know about the ACB smoke trick, it's very simple. It's just when you start, where is it? It just has smoke dispensers, release smoke, and that's literally it. You can do that in breadboard as well. Easier to show in automated control box. So let's throw a tarp on against this, just so you can see how this do. You don't have to have the heating element, as I like to call it, on here. Where is it? There it is, the superheating modulator. You don't have to, but it's I find it's quite nice, because it just basically doubles the amount of fire damage that a laser can do. This particular fortress is set up to focus on one block for about 60 seconds, which is very, very nasty. You can see the fire damage is really piling up there, and we've managed to make a nice big, like, streak of stuff all the way here. Didn't do incredibly well, didn't aim for a good spot, But this is a burst example, so there's no destabilizers on here. It is literally just storage. It'll charge up and then put out some pretty good shots. So this is like, you know, it's a pretty decent piercing laser. I'm not sure what the advantages of this is. I guess in this case it's just like storage improves your damage and destabilizers technically don't, because every destabilizer you put in the laser cavity line is room you could have put for storage or more pumps. So that's pretty nice, and I think we'll stick with the Tarpon for purposes. So let's go here, lots of destabilizer. So this is kind of more like what the Super Radiance is doing. So what do we got here? We've got just a whole bunch of like single lines 1 meter across, and it has destabilizer and single input storage. And you'll notice this is reasonably compact, and per shot it does like 32,000 damage per shot, which is very nice. So there's no frequency doublers in here, and for those of you who forget what the frequency doubler is, that just ups the intensity of the laser. So depending on what exactly you want to do, you probably are going to need more than these. However, raw damage is actually pretty useful for lasers, because the way laser fire damage works is that whatever, when a block is destroyed by a laser, the fire started is depending on the fire resistance of the thing. So the fire resistance of heavy armor, for instance, is 60, which means if a laser destroys that block, it has an intensity of about 60. Or at least that's how I think it works. Do correct me if I'm wrong. But what is noticeable is that pierce lasers do a real number against anything remotely flammable, and because they pierce through things, they can shoot straight through things like stone or metal in order to get straight at the flammable stuff. So right there, shot straight through that cram and burned that cram completely off. Come on, aim for something good. I might need to change that. In fact, I'm going to change the aim point selection of these. Doesn't need to aim for 60. Is it the whole thing? Let's do that. Let's see some holes get poked, darn it. So you see just multiple lines of blocks just fall off, and it's very strong. It's also very good for lasers that like just fire slowly, and just like, you know, they fire more slowly but more damage per shot, which is actually very convenient because that kind of laser uses less power. So pierce lasers, really good. I should probably mention their downsides. Because they fire more slowly, by default, they don't have to, but like it's got to be a monster laser that pierces through multiple blocks and fires multiple times a second. They tend to be bad against small evasive targets. 0Q and 4Q lasers are much better for that. We don't talk about 2Q and 3Q lasers around here. Apparently they're damage inefficient, according to the people who've done the laser math. So, zap, zap, zap. Oh, look at that line of blocks. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so nice. It's like a railgun, but it sets things on fire. Beautiful. And the top one's actually a really good target for lasers because it doesn't have laser defense, not really, and it has a lot of stuff on it that can burn. So that's very, very nice. Oh, look at that. Look at that, just popping things off. It's so nice, so nice, so nice. And this isn't even... It's pretty big, but like you fold this in... on itself a little bit, you could make not a gigantic craft out of this, so it'll be pretty neat. I am a fan of lasers these days. I remember years ago I didn't like them, now I do, because they save a lot of time. They hit things reliably. So, maybe you want to make something a little bit more big. So, this is the same thing as what you just saw, it's just a lot bigger. And the damage it does is just shy of 100,000. So this we like. This is a proper face-melting thing, and it has an output regulator as well. I'm not entirely clear on how this exactly works. It's just, you know, minimum shot energy. I think really all this does is, all this is doing on here is making it so that the laser will frickin' if it gets a hole blasted through it, it'll essentially stop firing, so that's annoying. Maybe I should remove this. Anyway, this is just very fun, and it's literally just big laser, lots of destabilizer, and shoot through things. Let's shoot at the top one a bit. Hold on, let's first make sure I didn't do the thing with the aim point selection, because as fun as it is to do that, we want to show off how much this thing pierces. And immediately zap. Let's see what's falling off there. I'm seeing... Yep, well... So yeah, one of the reasons that Pierce lasers are so amazingly good is that one of the most meta things to build in From the Depths are evasive thrustercraft / airships, which are front-sided. The top one is one of the nastiest of them, at least in the early game. Real wake-up call for new players if they run into this, because it just drives like crazy. And even like high muzzle velocity APS struggles to hit something like this, so having a laser that just is like, I don't care, I'm going to shoot straight through you. So yeah, this is marvelous, marvelous weapon. And if you make your Pierce laser strong enough, I'm not sure this one can manage, but it can like, let's see here, let's shoot at a pyre, because that's funny. Man, I hope I remember to tweak I really hope I remember to tweak the target prio on this. Okay, it's ignoring the nuclear weapons, I think. So, like, there's a shot. What did that do? So that's a shot that went all the way in there. So that's what we like to see. The kind of armor that the pyre has. Ironically, the pyre is weirdly vulnerable to getting burned alive because, you know, it's a pyre. Maybe that's a hint to the name. Because once a heavy armor fire gets going, it's like burns very, very quickly and does a huge amount of damage. So yeah, it's nasty. So Pierce lasers are very good against flying bricks, and multiple people have recommended to me in, like, say, the Laniakea Most Wanted that Pierce lasers work well. They do. They have confirmed it. I did mention it in the video, but, like, I just mentioned it. I didn't show it. And, you know, people don't listen. It's fine. That appears to have taken out... Ah, that took out our shield projection compartment. How much damage have we done? I kind of screwed up my damage a little bit. Let's turn that off and wait for the damage numbers to go away. There we go. Now, bang. So that's like almost 20,000 damage per shot, and that's through smoke. So the good news is that lasers aren't as bad as they used to be, believe it or not. That's actually good news for people being shot at with lasers. The bad news is that they're better against things with laser defense, so yeah, that sucks. And the pyre is not going down extremely well. Honestly, well, never mind. It just took out a lot of stuff right now. Honestly, if you really want to be nasty, because lasers are hit scan, if you aim straight for hot blocks, this works really well. So yeah, let's try that. Let's aim for hot blocks specifically. The pyre has heat decoys on it, but hit scan weapons tend to shoot them off very quickly, so let's go... Where did I put my AI? Where did I put my AI? Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Alright, let's target hot blocks. And let's set that up like that. And let us shoot at the pyre some more, because it's really fun. Imagine something like this, but just does a lot better. I mean, not a lot better. Like, bigger and meaner, and like, if you have enough of them, you can... Wait, did the pyre just nuke itself in the ass? I think it might have. Nope, that was the Pierce laser. Where's it shooting? Where is it shooting? Oh, there it is. Yep, and it just shot off one of the decoys, easy peasy. Yep, and shot it off easy peasy again. Wait, what was that? And yep, it's taking out custom jets. So don't be fooled by basically the damage percentage. Once you shoot all the custom jets off the pyre, it kind of dies immediately. And it has set a whole bunch of APS components on fire as well. Beautiful, beautiful. It appears to be aiming for the top. Laser decoy, not laser decoy. What's it called again? Heat decoy. That's the one. I've had too much coffee today. Excuse me. So yeah, Pierce lasers, amazingly fun. Gotta say, it's a lot more fun to use them than it is to be shot at them. I should probably also mention how you counter stuff like this. Things that, like, pierce like this, the counter is to build with a lot of big gaps in your craft and a lot of redundancy. So, ironically, broadsiders tend to be better at this kind of thing, because, like, you just have, like, a broad... target that's mostly empty air, and yeah, if, like, you know, essentially you want to waste this thing's damage, spread things out, make sure you're made of, like, nice and fireproof materials, and yeah, do, like, the ACB smoke trick. Don't forget that, because that is the difference. That could mean the difference between a Pierce laser instantly killing you and it killing you in, like, multiple shots, which makes a big difference. Come on, I want to see this pyre drop into the water. Like, the people are owed that. Where are you aiming, friend? Zap? This is the problem with heat decoys. Whee! Come on, let's see you. Oh, do you see how fast that fire damage is ticking up? That is the advantage of cooking heavy armor with lasers. How far did that go in? That went in very far in... Where's this? And this is an advantage of pierce lasers over piercing particle cannons, is because they burn a hole through things. Like, you've got a nice 1 meter wide hole, and then, well, the hole gets bigger because it's set on fire. So you're using heavy armor or any kind of flammable material against itself. Very nice, very nice. Yep, it just took out more custom jets. You'll notice the pyre is not actually moving anymore. So even if you've got a pierce laser just turning off custom jets left and right, because man, they're good at it. Let's see what's falling out. Yep. Yep, that is significant. This is shining straight through, like, multiple, like, meters of, like, heavy armor wedges, which is, you know, hard counters this kind of thing. I'm annoyed I didn't think of this, or know of this, really, when I was doing the Pyre Most Wanted. So, I think I've rambled on enough, so just a reminder about how to do this. Lots of destabilizers, lots of storage. You can do it how you like, depends on what you want to do, depends on what fire rate you design. I was like, you know, I'm slightly annoyed at myself that I didn't get like exactly 100,000 laser damage per shot, but you know what, you take what you can get. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps. And there's fun perks in it for you. Like a Patreon exclusive Discord, me reviewing craft, me building craft for you, me drawing stuff for you. By the way, I draw. Drawing streams every week. Also From the Depths streams every week. And non-From the Depths streams every week as well. As of time of recording, we're working our way through The Witcher 2. That game that everyone's going nuts about. Totally don't fact check me on that. Let me have my foolish beliefs. Anyway, all of you have fun piercing soft, squishy Great Talons craft with piercing lasers. And I'll see you next time in From the Depths. Farewell! Sinking at 90% health. Ha ha ha! Take that, you big Bernie thing.